There is a mental hospital next to me. Oh, no mistake. Just walk a bit further. I can see you. Following her direction, he finally spotted Wang Lan's car. All right, I'll head that way. He replied before hanging up and making his way toward her. He failed to notice that in front of Wang Lan's vehicle, an ambulance equipped with iron railings was parked. Approaching, two individuals clad in white coats disembarked alongside Wang Lan. Liu Exin, bewildered, thought to himself, what is happening? When Lan addressed him, Liu Exin, I apologize. After some contemplation, I believe I should take action. Rest assured, the doctor is my classmate. Everything is arranged. Following her words, the two individuals in white coats advanced toward him. Liu Exin's heart raced with alarm. Are you planning to confine me to a mental institution? What are you thinking? I'm not ill. You all must be out of your minds. Liu Exin erupted in furious exclamations. The two in white coats, evidently accustomed to such scenes, were unfazed and swiftly lunged at him. Liu Exin turned and fled, realizing that if he were captured, even a sane person would go mad. Please don't apprehend me. I'm not a lunatic. Passers-by, out for an evening stroll, hastily dodged him, eager to avoid any entanglement. Wen Lan, standing at a distance, anxiously inquired of the doctor beside her. Jinhai, is his condition serious? Jinhai adjusted his black-framed glasses and replied, without a diagnosis, it's hard to say. But judging by his behavior, it appears quite severe. A sigh escaped Wen Lan's lips. Liu Exin ran desperately, while the two in white coats, presumably seasoned in such pursuits, maintained their stamina. His newly acquired attire, already restrictive, tore at several seams as he sprinted, and he lost one of his leather shoes in the chaos. The more he ran, the more he resembled a madman. Chapter 362. The suspicious individual that night. Many citizens witnessed a man, like the wind, sprinting barefoot and in tatters beneath the streetlights. It was unclear how long he had been running. Finally, after evading the pursuit of the white coats, Liu Exin dared to come to a halt. His leather shoes were long gone, leaving him with just one sock. His suit jacket was discarded somewhere, and the underarm of his shirt had split. Most frustratingly, even the seam of his trousers had ripped, revealing white underwear through the gap in his black pants, an unmistakable sight even in the darkness. Ah, damn it. Liu Exin crouched in the bushes, too furious to venture out. He never imagined that an otherwise pleasant date could devolve into such a spectacle. Indeed, being a scoundrel was no easy feat, and he couldn't help but admire Chen Xiao even more. Ultimately, with no other recourse, he picked up his phone to call his idol. Hello, Xiao Ge. I need help. Chen Xiao, lazily reclining on his bed and gently stroking the smooth back of Zhang Enki, paid little heed to Liu Exin's voice at first. What's wrong? Aren't you supposed to be working overtime? Liu Exin, with a quivering voice, replied. Overtime? I almost got sent to a mental institution. Huh? What happened? Chen Xiao's interest peaked. Liu Exin, almost in tears, explained when Lan asked me out, but I didn't expect her to bring doctors from a mental hospital. As soon as we met, they tried to restrain me. Chen Xiao laughed heartily. I told you not to provoke her. Liu Exin cursed. Damn it. How did she come to the conclusion that I'm insane? Could she have been misled by some idiot? Chen Xiao felt a twinge of embarrassment. He had merely mentioned to Wen Lan that Liu Exin was mentally unstable to ease the awkward tension at the time, never imagining his subordinate would take it to heart. It matters not. You return first, and I shall speak with her another day. A response? Nonsense. Those two in white coats chased me like hounds. I even lost my shoes in the process. How am I to return? Come pick me up. Chen Xiao responded, it's late at night. You should take a taxi back first. I can't go out. My trousers have ripped, and I'm squatting on the lawn. If I step out, I'll be exposed. Chen Xiao was at a loss for words, wondering how things could have gone so awry. Yet in this wintry night, the beauty nestled in his arms had just drifted into slumber, and he was reluctant to leave the warmth of the bed. No worries, just cover your face. No one will recognize you. Liu Exin exclaimed. Damn it, which taxi driver would dare pick me up looking like this? Hurry, Xiao Ge, I'm freezing to death. All right, just wait. With that, he hung up the phone. Chen Xiao had initially intended to send someone to retrieve him, but at that moment, he received a message from Zhong. Boss, 3 suspicious individuals have been spotted around Bin Hai Garden. They possess strong counter-surveillance skills. My team has been discovered multiple times and has been handed over to Lei Yong. Chen Xiao was taken aback. Could these be the assassins from the foreign faction? Understood. After replying, he set down his phone. Zhang Enki nestled closer into Chen Xiao's embrace, seeking a comfortable position, murmuring, Senior, are you going out? Chen Xiao gently kissed her forehead. Yes, to save a fool. Huh? Zhang Enki lifted her head slightly, puzzled. Chen Xiao pinched her delicate cheek. You should sleep. I will return later. Oh, all right, senior, come back soon. MHM. Chen Xiao dismissed the thought of sending someone to fetch Lu Xin and decided to go himself. Staying at home would provide no opportunity for the foreign faction. With this thought, Chen Xiao rose, dressed in his clothes, and took his phone and keys before stepping outside. Accompanied by his bodyguards, he descended to the basement and entered the armored 600. After making arrangements, Chen Xiao's vehicle departed from Binhai Garden, with only 2 cars following him. The others were scouts, communicating via radio, positioned far apart and out of sight. Chen Xiao's vehicle moved at a steady pace. In the passenger seat, Lei Yong continuously monitored the situation within a 2-kilometer radius. Caution: a suspicious vehicle, a gray SUV, has entered Binhai Road, 15 kilometers from the boss. Traveling at 75, it is projected to catch up to the 600 in 5 minutes. Lei Yong glanced in the rearview mirror, assessing the situation in the car behind. The tinted windows obscured any view of the interior. Understood. Units 2 and 3. Ensure it does not surpass the 600. Affirmative. Team 1, prepare to obstruct. Team 2, get ready to intercept. Understood. The SUV ahead immediately decelerated, aligning alongside the trailing vehicle, blocking the dual lanes of Binhai Road to prevent any overtaking. Thunder calculated the time and speed. Gradually, a mass of vehicles appeared ahead, completely blocking Binhai Road, leaving a narrow gap for only one vehicle to pass. Behind, the gray SUV steadily approached. Chen Xiao sat composed in his vehicle, maneuvering through the opening. Then, immediately, someone drove to seal off that lone gap. This task was executed by Team 1. As for the second group, they appeared behind the gray SUV. The closed road segment between the 2 groups was solely occupied by this vehicle. Chen Xiao's car had already come to a halt, patiently awaiting a report from the rear. Ultimately, the SUV came to a stop in front of the first group, effectively blocking the second group. A bodyguard approached, brandishing a steel shield, and tapped on the car window. Get out. The doors soon cracked open, revealing an unexpected sight. A frail middle-aged man, wearing glasses, raised his hand from within the car. I don't know anything. Lei Yong was taken aback. This man was clearly an ordinary individual, with delicate hands resembling those of a woman. Trembling in fear at the scene, he stepped forward and asked, "How did you come to drive this vehicle? What about the 3 men?" The middle-aged man hesitated, unwilling to speak. Lei Yong replied coldly, "Not willing to say, are you? Then you can wait to explain inside. Those 3 individuals are involved in serious criminal activities, and your silence is tantamount to complicity." The man shuddered in fear. "I will tell you, those men at guns, they forced me to drive along this road and said nothing else." Lei Yong was momentarily stunned, comprehending the situation. The 3 men indeed possessed formidable counter-surveillance skills, having detected even his own personnel. It appeared this was a tactic to extricate themselves. After thoroughly inspecting the vehicle, Lei Yong instructed his men to escort the man back to the company for a detailed interrogation. He then approached Chen Xiao's car to report the situation. On a hillside a kilometer away, 3 men lay in wait. One held a pair of binoculars, another stood guard, while the third aimed through a scope. Fixated on the SUV's door, they awaited the precise moment the door would open, prepared to strike through the gap and eliminate the occupants inside. Chapter 363. The opportunity arises. Come on, open the door. Hero muttered anxiously. Bolton's index finger lightly rested on the trigger. Through the scope, the bodyguard-like man had already grasped the door handle, about to pull it open. The 3 men held their breath, anticipating the imminent moment. However, the man hesitated for a brief moment before suddenly waving his hand to the side. Instantly, 5 or 6 bodyguards brandishing steel shields rushed over to block the door. Hero slammed his fist heavily into the ground. Damn it. Bolton exhaled a long-held breath, withdrawing his finger from the trigger. The man's vigilance was impeccable, his defenses impenetrable. It seemed unlikely they would have another chance tonight. Let us go, continue the pursuit. Even God can doze off sometimes. Inside the vehicle, Lei Ting remarked, "Boss, we lost track of our men." Chen Xiao pondered for a moment, a slight smile curling at the corners of his mouth. "No matter, as long as they are present, that is sufficient. You should." Chen Xiao conversed with Lei Yong for over 10 minutes, articulating his thoughts. Lei Yong furrowed his brow in astonishment. "Isn't this too risky? What if?" "Never mind. You will handle this matter personally." "Yes." With that, Chen Xiao's substantial convoy converged, marching towards the location where Lu Xin was situated. Just before arrival, Chen Xiao produced 2 mobile phones, activating the video function on one while dialing Lu Xin on the other. "Hello, where are you?" "I'm here." "What? You've arrived? There lies a bridge. Did you see it?" I am on the lawn at the bridge's head. Chun Xiao, following the direction, indeed spotted a figure, half-hunched and timid. None other than Lu Xen. All right, I see you. Don't move. Lu Xen cautioned. Xiao Gu, come quietly. Let us keep this under wraps. It's utterly embarrassing. Understood, Chun Xiao replied, aware that recording with one hand was rather cumbersome. He hastily ended the call and instructed Lei Yong, let them through and brighten the lights. Yes. Soon after, a taxi halted by the roadside, and someone called out to Lu Xen, come over, Xiao Gu sent me to fetch you. Lu Xen paused, surprised that his friend had arrived. No matter. Waiting any longer would leave him frozen, especially since his backside was exposed to the chill. He crouched low and dashed toward the taxi. However, halfway there, 4 or 5 beams of flashlights illuminated him. What the hell? Who's that? Liu Xin Yao, diving into the car. Chun Xiao, satisfied, stopped the recording. Ha, back to school. Yes. Little G, with his head wrapped in bandages, burst into laughter upon seeing the ragged Lu Xen. Ha ha, did you also mess with someone else's wife? Get lost, get lost. You think I'm like you? Come on, don't be shy. I'll tell you, beast, to do this, one must have a tough head and be able to take a beating. Liu Xin Vito. You think being tough led you to look like this? Little G replied, damn, I was caught off guard. Remember when I went downstairs for beer, and a van pulled up to beat me? Did I look this battered? Lu Xen, uninterested, swiftly changed out of his tattered clothes and took a shower to wash away the misfortunes, before returning to his computer for a grueling work session. Seeing Lu Xen's indifference, Little G lit a cigarette and continued to revel in his gaming world. Although Lu Xen possessed a fortune worth millions, he had sacrificed much joyful time, while Little G, free to indulge, fretted over his daily meals. Life circumstances. One misstep can lead to vastly different fates. Upon Chun Xiao's return, he found both of them clattering away at their computers, prompting his own reflection. Ah, the beast has returned. Lu Xen turned. Hey, weren't you supposed to pick me up? Chun Xiao chuckled. Whether you returned or not is what matters. Who picked you up is irrelevant. Lu Xen was momentarily taken aback. Chun Xiao patted his shoulder. Come, let me show you a treasure. What treasure? Chun Xiao unveiled his phone. Look at these white shorts. Aren't they whimsical? Damn it. Lu Xen exclaimed, you secretly filmed me. Hurry and delete it. Without delay, he lunged forward. In their playful tussle, Lu Xen ultimately succeeded in erasing the video. Chun Xiao didn't team mind, for there were backups in other phones. Late at night, Chun Xiao lay in bed, listening to the rhythmic tapping of the keyboard below, slowly drifting into slumber. Little G, due to his nightly vigils, was healing slowly. Even now, his wounds had yet to fully mend. Lu Xen worked diligently until 1 in the morning before stretching and retiring to bed. He was not an exceptional talent. Rather, it was through extraordinary effort that he managed to keep pace with the company as progress, an aspect that indeed surprised Chun Xiao. Moreover, in the realm of work, there exists a stark contrast to the adolescent fervor often associated with stock trading. In the dormitory, only Xiao Ji remains, valiantly fighting his solitary battle. It is likely due to his lingering injuries that, after a brief period of play, he too succumbs to fatigue, collapsing onto his single sofa. Xiaogu, are you asleep? Chun Xiao, in a state of drowsiness, could hardly muster the energy to respond. Xiaogu, are you asleep? Noticing Chun Xiao's silence, Xiao Ji stood and gently nudged him. Siye. Get lost. You woke me up even though I was asleep. Xiao Ji chuckled and reclined back. Let's chat for a bit, shall we? Other dorms have night talks. Chun Xiao, exasperated, retorted, who talks at night in a junior dormitory? Xiao Ji responded. That's irrelevant. I can't sleep. Chun Xiao, flipping over, wearily inquired. What is wrong with you again? Isn't the game enjoyable? Sigh. Xiao Yi sighed. That's merely a facade. It's just to mask my heartache from a breakup. Chun Xiao paused, raising his head to ask. Did you break up with your girlfriend from back home? Oh, not exactly. I broke up with Yan. Chun Xiao exclaimed. Get lost. Xiao Ji continued his monologue. She asked me to wait for her, yet she's living with her husband now. I couldn't wait any longer, so we had an argument. Chun Xiao raised an eyebrow. She's cohabiting with Bai Haonan again? How did she manage to win him back? Damn it, I actually got dumped. Xiao Ji's puzzling confidence took a significant blow. Xiao Gu, is there any way to get back at her? What does her family do? Chun Xiao, feeling exasperated, replied. As for her family, just forget it. You should focus on graduating and leading a good life afterward. Xiao Ji pouted. I won't give up that easily. All right. You're impressive. Sleep now. If you say one more word, I swear I'll make you regret it. Chun Xiao warned. Xiao Ji, indeed, fell silent. He had a hunch about Chun Xiao's capabilities. After all, knowing someone like Bai Lansheng must entail a certain depth of character. But since Chun Xiao remained tight-lipped, Xiao Ji refrained from probing further, which he found rather satisfying. The following day, members of the Rorschach Killer Squad, through their binoculars, observed a sudden influx of activity around the yacht by Chien Lake. Supplies were being loaded onto the vessel in boxfuls. The three exchanged glances, sensing that an opportunity had arisen once more. Chapter 364. Old Chun is on the path. What puzzled the trio was that the items being loaded onto the ship included not only daily necessities, but also some rather peculiar construction materials. Hilo, if we could ensure that the damned Chun Xiao accompanies this ship to the lake's depths, we could return and divide the spoils. Sufficient for us to indulge for quite some time. Hilo furrowed his brow, pondering that sinking such a large vessel wouldn't be an easy task. However, I have another idea. What idea? Hilo smiled. Do you recall our diving training in Malaysia? Bolton paused. Are you suggesting? Hilo drew his handgun. Precisely. Let us cut off the roots. The other two felt a spark of inspiration. Brother, you truly are a genius in times of crisis. Thank you. Let us conspire together. May our collaboration be fruitful. Three individuals from Huaxia, who also happened to showcase their knowledge of idioms, were sent by Luocha for this very reason. Regardless of the circumstances, these three at least possessed a modicum of linguistic prowess. After this brief exchange, one remained to observe while the other two stealthily descended the mountain to procure diving equipment. Upon rising, Chun Xiao discovered that Lu Xen had already embarked on his workday, while Xiao Ji, that rascal, was still lost in slumber. He donned a tracksuit, either gifted by Li Wenli or Xia Yudi, and began his warm-up, preparing to descend for a run. Just as he was about to step outside, a sudden knock echoed at the door. Perplexed, Chun Xiao wondered who could possibly be visiting at such an early hour. Upon opening the door, he was met with the sight of Xia Yudi, who stood there clutching breakfast, her hands rubbing together to ward off the chill. What brings you here? Chun Xiao inquired. I heard you stayed in the dormitory last night, so I came over. I have a day off today, Xia Yudi replied. Meanwhile, Xiao Ji, awakened by the tantalizing aroma, rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Is this a dream? A fairy? He exclaimed. Xia Yudi waved her hand, cheerfully introducing herself. Hello, I'm Chun Xiao's friend. Xiao Ji swallowed hard, unable to tear his gaze away. Chun Xiao, feeling exasperated, pulled Xia Yudi closer. Stop staring. Do you not understand the situation? Xiao Ji muttered. Damn it, is she another one of his? To avoid offending the benefactor, he redirected his attention to the breakfast that Xia Yudi had brought. Once again, he swallowed hard. Having heard that Chun Xiao's dorm housed 3 people, Xia Yudi had thoughtfully brought 3 portions of breakfast. She glanced at Chun Xiao, silently inquiring if she could share with him. With a resigned sigh, Chun Xiao tossed 1 portion her way. Quickly eat. Once you're done, return to your games. Despite the beauty not being his, Xiao Ji was determined to maintain his composure. What game are you playing? After breakfast, we should study. Finals are approaching. Chun Xiao suggested. Come, accompany me for a run, then we can eat afterward. All right, Xia Yudi replied, her face lighting up. She linked her arm with Chun Xiao's as they exited the dormitory. Xiao Ji cast a deep, envious glance at them, feeling a pang of longing in his heart. Once, Yin 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 had nestled against his shoulder in a similar manner. He relished the dizzying sensation that came from being overwhelmed by wealth and maturity. Yet he realized he would never experience that feeling again. Silently finishing his bun, Xiao Ji resolved to make a decision. He dressed, took the breakfast from Chun Xiao's table, and bundled himself up tightly before stepping out. On the wintry playground, the number of runners had notably diminished. The crisp air invigorated his lungs, awakening his senses. Xia Yudi sat on the steps, watching Chun Xiao, her cheeks flushed from the cold. After running 8 kilometers, Chun Xiao exuded warmth. You are incredible, Chun Xiao, Xia Yudi exclaimed, clapping her hands in admiration. Chun Xiao chuckled modestly. Where's the incredible part? Everywhere is impressive, she insisted. Shall I demonstrate? How annoying. No. Let us hurry back, you'll catch a cold. Waving his hand dismissively, Chun Xiao replied, Not a chance, I'm as sturdy as an ox, unlike you, so delicate. All right then, ox brother, can you carry me back? Xia Yudi teased. Chun Xiao knelt, turning his back to her. This is a piece of cake. Hop on. With a joyful cheer, Xia Yudi climbed onto Chun Xiao's back, wrapping her arms tightly around his neck. Chun Xiao shook his head and inquired, Have you developed again? Xia Yudi replied, How annoying. Let's hurry back for a meal. Chun Xiao stated, I won't be returning. I'm heading to the cafeteria. Is there any breakfast left in the dormitory? All right then. On their way back, the two were quite affectionate, even sharing a passionate kiss that lasted a full 160 degrees. Xia Yudi's charming shyness truly indulged Chen Xiao. However, after the moment, when he turned his head, he nearly dropped Xia Yudi in shock. Father? What brings you here? Chun Jiangwo gathered his thoughts and said, Didn't you arrange for me to go to the Magic City with your uncle for studies? Chen Xiao was speechless. You should have called before coming. Chun Jiangwo retorted angrily. I called over a dozen times. No one answered, so I came looking for you, thinking something had happened. Chun Xiao replied, You truly are my biological father. Can't you wish for me to be well? Chun Jiangwo glared at him. Don't speak nonsense. He glanced at Xia Yudi, who had turned to stone upon seeing Chun Xiao as father. Their previous encounters had been strikingly similar. Chun Xiao remained unfazed. In such situations, it was crucial to maintain composure. He calmly explained, Oh, this classmate twisted her ankle on the playground, and I'm taking her to the hospital. Chun Jiangwo responded, If I recall correctly, the last time you twisted your ankle, it was this classmate and her friend who took you to the hospital, right? Chun Xiao said, At your age, your memory is surprisingly sharp. Yes, we help each other as classmates. Chun Jiangwo thought to himself that if he hadn't observed for so long, he might have believed him. Moreover, does one perform artificial respiration for a sprained ankle? Then take your classmate to the hospital. I'll be waiting for you in the cafeteria. All right, and please grab me some breakfast. Chun Jiangwo. Throughout the whole ordeal, Chen Xiao did not set Xia Yudi down, for at this moment, showing any sign of weakness would mean defeat. Uncle, goodbye. Xia Yudi blushed as she bid farewell to Chen Jiangwo. Farewell. Once out of Chen Jiangwo's sight, Chen Xiao set Xia Yudi down. Yudi, I can't join you for breakfast. Oh no, meeting your uncle twice is truly embarrassing. Ha ha ha. We'll all be family soon. It's nothing to worry about. You'll get used to it. Xia Yudi, although well prepared for meeting parents, still felt nervous when the moment arrived. All right, don't overthink it. You should head back to Binyuan and freshen up while waiting for me. Okay, fine. With that, Xia Yudi planted a deep kiss on Chun Xiao's cheek before turning to leave. Upon arriving at the cafeteria, Chun Jiangwo had already prepared the meal and grumbled. I come to your school, and I still have to treat you to a meal. Dad, managing as a general manager must be quite effortless for you? Chun Jiangwo replied, You don't need to remind me. I know what I should and shouldn't say when I get back. Chun Xiao's eyes lit up. Wow, old Chun is quite perceptive. Chapter 365. Test drive ahem. Your words suggest that I am somehow threatening you. I merely wish to inquire about your recent work situation. Chun Jiangwo remarked, I truly appreciate your concern, but I hope you're not holding any thoughts about my position as general manager. Chun Xiao responded, Have people truly become so indifferent to one another nowadays? Indeed, during this visit to the enchanting metropolis, are we still patronizing that same supermarket? Chun Xiao replied, No. This time I have chosen a larger chain enterprise, primarily to study the management model of chain supermarkets. Oh, Chun Jiangwo mused, recalling the time he brought Chun Xiao to university when he couldn't even bear to stay in a hotel. And now, this young man hasn't even graduated yet, and the entire family has become entrepreneurs. While other parents would inquire about their children's future plans, Chun Jiangwo glanced at Chen Xiao, realizing that it was quite enough for him that his son wasn't probing into his own aspirations. The plans of his son might be so advanced that he wouldn't even comprehend them. He couldn't help but sigh again. The feeling of being a father was indeed becoming increasingly faint. Conversely, being a subordinate felt remarkably effortless. This is quite absurd, isn't it? Chen Xiao noticed his father lost in thought, occasionally sighing, and queried in confusion, What is the matter? Are you feeling unwell? Should I send someone else to study? Chun Jiangwo retorted, I am perfectly capable. Who says I am not? Stop fixating on the idea of someone replacing me. Chen Xiao was at a loss for words, concluding that his father was indeed caught up in some delusion, perhaps suffering from a case of paranoia. All right, you're the best. Focus on your studies. After the new year, the renovation of Yida Plaza in I-City should be about to commence. At the mention of this, Chun Jiangwo's face lit up with a smile. With his increased wealth and status, the circles he mingled in had also elevated. Within this circle, his Yonghui supermarket seemed rather unremarkable. If he could venture into I-City and establish a chain, it would undoubtedly bring him prestige among his new acquaintances. Rest assured, my son, I have not discovered my aptitude for learning in over 40 years. Chen Xiao smirked and added, By the way, the allure of the metropolis is quite strong. You must exercise restraint, old Chun. Chen Jiangwo shot back, Get lost. After dining, Chun Xiao accompanied Chen Jiangwo to Tung Xiao capital. Observing his son's entourage, Chun Jiangwo found it difficult to comprehend, having never seen anyone depart with such a multitude of attendants. Son, what is this? Chun Xiao chuckled. They are all employees of my Heishuan security company. When they have no assignments, I allow them to accompany me. I pay their salaries, so I can't let them be idle, can I? Chun Jiangwo was taken aback. Is that even permissible? Chun Xiao continued, Dad, how much is your monthly salary these days? Chun Jiangwo replied, Not much, just enough for the work I do. Chun Xiao laughed heartily. Haha, Dad, you truly have a sense of humor. Chun Jiangwo responded with a chuckle. You're quite the jokester. Upon arriving at the 8th floor of Tung Xiao capital, the women present were all at least 7 meters tall and exceptionally beautiful. Particularly striking were the pair of twin sisters, whose beauty could be described as unparalleled. Chun Jiangwo recognized Lin Yanran, but was surprised to discover she had a twin sister. As soon as Lin Yanran spotted him, she enthusiastically approached, exclaiming, Ah, Uncle Chun, you've arrived. Ah, hello, Yanran, Chun Jiangwo greeted. How is your mother? She well. Often mentioning you at home, Lin Yanran replied with a sweet smile. Chun Xiao, somewhat exasperated, interjected, Enough with the giggles. Come over here for a moment. Lin Yanran playfully stuck out her tongue and silently followed Chun Xiao to the adjacent office. Boss, she greeted. Chun Xiao remarked, Utilize the swiftest means to transport comrades Chun Jiangwo and Chun Jianjun to the metropolis. Lin Yanran interjected, So, what you mean is that we will miss lunch again? However, Chun Xiao held the position of authority, and his commands constituted Lin Yanran's professional objectives. Oh, understood. She promptly responded, making the necessary arrangements. Furthermore, she deliberately took 2,000 yuan to give to the driver, instructing him to ensure that Chun Jiangwo enjoyed a splendid meal in the metropolis. Upon receiving the news of the arrangements, Chun Xiao cheerfully entered the office. Chun Jiangwo was leisurely seated before the grand floor-to-ceiling window. Beside him was the exquisite red tea brewed by Lin Yanran. He was admiring the breathtaking scenery of Qianhu Lake. His spirits undeniably elevated. Oh, indulging in tea, are we? Chun Xiao inquired. Chun Jiangwo gestured towards the adjacent chair, saying, Have a seat. You certainly know how to relish life. This view surpasses even that of tourist attractions. Ha, no need to sit. Old Chun, come with me. I have prepared a gift for you. Huh? Chun Jiangwo set down his teacup and rose. What kind of gift? Chun Xiao smiled. I recall you mentioning your fondness for Land Rover, correct? Yes. Did you actually buy one? Chun Jiangwo's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Given his current economic status, apart from the vehicle provided by the company, he could not afford such an extravagant item. Moreover, it was unlikely that Wang Li would permit him to make such a purchase. He felt too embarrassed to ask his son for assistance. Thus, upon hearing about the Land Rover, his eyes widened with excitement. Follow me, Chun Xiao said as he exited the office, with Chun Jiangwo immediately trailing behind. The two descended to the basement, where they indeed found a Range Rover parked, complete with a driver. Chun Jiangwo's eyes brightened as he circled the vehicle 3 times before halting. Chun Xiao chuckled. Shall you take a seat and experience it? Absolutely. Chun Jiangwo settled into the spacious back seat, luxuriating in its comfort. The view was splendid, entirely meeting his expectations whether driving or riding. Chun Xiao suggested, Let's pick up my third uncle and take it for a spin. All right, I will call him now. Chun Xiao smiled and signaled to the driver. Let us set off. But take it easy on the road. Yes, sir. With that, they drove out of the Tung Xiao Capitol building, picked up Chun Jianjun, and headed straight for the metropolis. Most men have a love for cars, and along the way, Chun Jiangwo and Chun Jianjun delved deeply into discussions about the vehicle. When they finally lifted their gaze, they realized they had arrived in an unfamiliar city. After the driver parked at the hotel and handed the keys to Chun Jiangwo, he said, Mr. Chun, please keep the keys safe. The hotel arrangements have been made. Would you prefer check-in first or dine? Chun Jiangwo suddenly felt a sense of unease. How did a test drive lead them to the metropolis? What's wrong? Chun Jianjun inquired. Chun Jiangwo accepted the keys with a sigh. Damn it. That little rascal has tricked me again. Chun Jianjun reassured him. It's all right. At least we've acquired a vehicle. Chun Jiangwo replied. Third, you're still too young. Look at the registration. This car is undoubtedly registered under Tung Xiao Capital Group. It's not a gift for me. That little rascal is quite cunning. Upon inspection, Chun Jianjun found it to be true, leaving him both amused and exasperated. His nephew, every time he accompanies his second uncle to Jining, cannot endure a single day before being sent away. The mastermind behind this, having just finished his bath in the summer rain butterfly's villa, donned his attire and hastened toward the newly refurbished yacht. Chapter 366. 3 black fish. The vessel was equipped with everything one could imagine: life-saving apparatus, defensive gear, and even double-layered bulletproof glass. The trio of rogues, fixated on the yacht, immediately spotted Chen Xiao boarding. "Hero, quick, the target has embarked." Hero, who had been resting with his face concealed beneath a camouflage cap, sprang upright, swiftly grasping his binoculars. Indeed, he discerned Chen Xiao aboard the boat. "Do not rush. It would be best if he could distance himself from the shore and venture into the lake's center." No sooner had Hero spoken than the yacht began to depart the dock. However, it did not head toward the lake center, but rather sailed along the periphery. "Hero, what is the plan? Shall we take action?" Hero furrowed his brow in contemplation. Though not situated in the lake center, moving away from the clamor and navigating to a secluded spot was still conducive to their intentions. He set down his binoculars, pondered for a moment, and then grasped his pistol, declaring, "Let us proceed." Upon hearing this, the other two immediately donned their diving suits. Having endured the mountains for several days, they were weary of such a life and awaited the opportune moment to seize their prize and return to Europe in comfort. The trio, fully equipped, camouflaged their rifles with foliage. After ensuring their pistols were in perfect working order, they donned their diving suits, strapped on oxygen tanks, and slipped silently into the lake. Like 3 black fish, they glided noiselessly toward the yacht. Chen Xiao was well prepared, yet uncertain whether these individuals would act. It was only after reaching the target area that he received a report from Lei Yong. "Boss, the target has appeared." A surge of joy washed over Chen Xiao. Finally, the trap was set. As the saying goes, it is easy to dodge an open spear, but difficult to guard against a hidden arrow. These individuals posed a significant nuisance to him. The treachery of assassins lies in the fact that, for a price, anyone can inflict considerable discomfort upon their adversaries. Dressed in a specialized suit, Chen Xiao sat quietly on the yacht, awaiting the arrival of the 3 intruders. The rogues, submerged at a depth of 7 to 8 meters, swam several kilometers, gradually nearing Chen Xiao's yacht. As they closed in, Hero signaled for the trio to continue their descent. Equipped with professional gear, they submerged to about 15 meters, ensuring they would remain undetected before approaching the yacht. Minutes later, the 3 gathered beneath the yacht to allocate their tasks. Hero utilized gestures to instruct Bolton and another companion to board from either side of the vessel, while he himself planned to approach the stern and launch simultaneous attacks from 3 different directions. They aimed to swiftly eliminate Chen Xiao and then retrace their steps to escape the country. After delegating responsibilities and synchronizing their timing, the trio drew their pistols and double-checked their equipment for any mechanical failures. Once all was in order, Hero signaled, and the 3 ascended simultaneously, believing themselves to be completely undetected. To his utter astonishment, Chen Xiao discovered that the vessel was equipped with the most advanced civilian sonar detection device in the world. As the 3 individuals drew closer, their movements were laid bare before Chen Xiao without reservation. Upon observing their arrival at the bottom of the boat, Chen Xiao promptly issued a command to take action. The trio, just beginning to ascend, suddenly caught sight of a slender shadow cascading down from above. Confused by its nature, Bolton frantically waved his arms and then struggled violently in an attempt to escape. Hilo glanced sideways and beheld the towering high-voltage transmission tower on the shore, his heart sinking in realization of what was descending from the sky. Yet, submerged in water, he found himself powerless, left only with the bleak anticipation of the inevitable. With a resounding crash, the 330 kV power line plunged into the water, triggering an explosion that rendered the surface of the sea in the vicinity of the yacht into a boiling cauldron. Countless fish and shrimp were instantly cooked by the scalding water, while the yacht's electrical equipment sustained considerable damage. Fortunately, due to special insulation treatment, the personnel remained unscathed. Everything transpired in an instant, only to come to an abrupt halt thereafter. A widespread power outage enveloped the Jinning industrial zone, as the high-voltage transmission line tripped the moment it made contact with the water. Nevertheless, the unleashed energy was sufficiently lethal. Rising to his feet, Chen Xiao surveyed the surrounding waters, now littered with lifeless fish floating on the surface, among which lay 3 sizable, battered black fish. "Boss, we succeeded. Should you depart first?" someone inquired. "Not yet. Let us confirm," Chen Xiao replied. Shortly thereafter, several speedboats raced toward them from a distance. Upon retrieving the black fish, the remnants of faded tattoos bore witness to their identities. Chen Xiao covered his mouth and nose, glanced at the scene, nodded, and then departed. The subsequent handling of the matter would be managed by designated personnel. It was a pity that the high-voltage transmission line had been shattered at the point of contact with the water, making it unlikely to ascertain the cause of the incident. Upon returning to the company, Tangshan Capital was also without power. The logistics team was engaged in repairing the circuits, while employees were on the phone with the Power Supply Bureau, inquiring about the outage's cause. Yet, Chun Zhao's elevator continued to operate normally, as the company's generator prioritized the electricity needs of the chairman. Boss, the Power Supply Bureau reported that the transmission line has been damaged and power may not be restored today, Lin Yanran informed. Chun Zhao smiled. That's fine. Let us allow everyone to leave early. Yes. Can we organize an outdoor barbecue? Lin Yanran asked. Of course. The company will reimburse it. Enjoy yourselves, he replied. Yay. Thank you, boss. Lin Yanran exclaimed. Soon, barbecue grills were set up on the expansive, flat lawn outside Tangshan Capital, with an array of beef, lamb, and seafood available in abundance. The beverages were also of high quality. Watching the joyful employees below, Chun Zhao smiled faintly and lit a cigarette for himself. The tranquil Qian Lake appeared as though nothing had ever transpired. However, the trio from the Russia would no longer surface, for even if they vanished as assassins, no one would seek them out. The cigarette, but between Chun Zhao's fingers, had been contorted by his grip. Wang Tian, I have accepted your challenge. 200 million seems rather dismissive, does it not? I wonder if you possess the capability to respond to my move. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden hues across the lake, Chun Zhao finally departed from the office. Upon descending, Lin Yanran rushed towards him, holding 2 perfectly roasted yellow fish. Boss, would you care for some? I made them. They're utterly fragrant, crisp on the outside and tender within. Lin Yanran, with her captivating eyes, earnestly promoted her culinary creation. Chun Zhao hesitated, gazing at the charred fish, and was abruptly reminded of the earlier incident. His stomach churned violently. He felt a wave of nausea. Lin Yanran, noticing his discomfort, immediately dropped the fish and gently patted his back. Boss, are you all right? Is everything okay? Chun Zhao merely retched, wiped the corner of his mouth, and waved his hand dismissively, saying, I'm fine, you all enjoy. I'll head back first. Lin Yanran assisted him into his car, watching as his convoy drove away, feeling a pang of injustice. She glanced back at the fish on the ground. Could it truly be that distasteful? Did the boss merely glance at it and retch? How absurd. I shall never barbecue again. Lin Yanran, once brimming with confidence in her culinary skills, felt a sting of disappointment and kicked the fish with force before returning to her office to grab her bag and head home. Chapter 367. The Beautiful CEO Shibanya. A nation bordering Africa is characterized by its sweltering temperatures. Yet, Su Tang donned a long-sleeved trench coat and sunglasses as she traversed the streets adorned with Mediterranean architectural styles. Flanked by a cadre of bodyguards, upon their arrival, they not only established a branch office, but also registered a security company and acquired legal firearm permits. Each security personnel was equipped with the latest model of the .45 caliber 1911 handgun. Today, she was to meet Carlos Gonzalez, the third-ranked assassin on the global leaderboard, notorious for being the Sniper Terminator. This moniker stemmed from Carlos's fervent obsession with eliminating snipers, even without bounties on their heads. He would seek out renowned snipers for assassination in his leisure time. The reason for his fervor became apparent to Su Tang upon meeting him. Each of his cheeks bore a bullet wound, rumored to be from a sniper during a mission in his youth. The horrific scars led to his wife leaving him, and his children departing as well. Consequently, he developed a profound hatred for snipers. Their meeting took place in his secure hideout on the outskirts. Walls adorned with photographs marked with red crosses, alongside an array of knives and firearms. This was Su Tang's first encounter with such a person, and she felt an undeniable trepidation. However, the thought of Chun Zhao being targeted for assassination ignited a fierce resolve within her. She would never allow Chun Zhao to resort to hiring assassins, as she wished to protect his reputation when he eventually stood upon the world stage, illuminated by the spotlight. Su Tang had always been an ambitious woman, her potential previously unrecognized until she crossed paths with Chun Zhao. She was profoundly impressed by his audacity in the financial markets and sought to emulate his fervor in other realms. Eastern woman, is your name Su Tang? I seem to catch a whiff of blood. Through translation, Su Tang comprehended Carlos's words. She was taken aback, silently acknowledging the man's keen sense of smell. I am Su Tang. I deeply apologize. It must be due to a minor injury I sustained. Carlos replied nonchalantly. Did you endure some hardship to meet me? Su Tang responded, I have long admired your esteemed name, Mr. Carlos. A little hardship is nothing. I have come here to propose a business deal. Carlos's face bore no extraneous expression. The scar upon it rendered him somewhat menacing. I have no fondness for Eastern modesty. What you ought to do now is provide me with photographs of no more than 5 individuals and $50 million. Su Tang, unable to fathom his disposition, hesitated to speak freely. After deliberating, she produced an anonymous check. Here is 10 million. Carlos's calm visage darkened further. Without a visible motion, the sound of a bullet being chambered reached her ears, prompting her to hastily add, Mr. Carlos, this 10 million is merely a deposit. Upon completion, the remaining 90 million shall be delivered in full. I seek to execute a significant transaction. Carlos's expression softened somewhat. To have encountered me suggests you possess some capability. Speak. Su Tang slid a dossier towards him. This family's direct lineage, 2 million per individual. I am willing to buy at a premium. Carlos did not examine the dossier, but instead pocketed the check. Noticing his silence, Su Tang recognized it was time to take her leave. This transaction bore no guarantees. In truth, those in this line of work seldom have assurances. Furthermore, Carlos belonged to no organization, merely possessing a reputation for never breaching contracts. One aspect, however, offered a modicum of reassurance. Upon exiting Carlos's safe house, Su Tang inhaled the warm air. While her homeland had already succumbed to the chill of winter, this place remained sweltering. Mr. Su, please consider returning home. Your arm injury. Su Tang smiled. It's nothing. I can wait a little longer. Perhaps seek medical attention in France? The medical facilities here are limited. It's of no concern. Once matters here settle, I shall return home. Sigh. Very well, the bodyguard replied, somewhat regretful. The quest to find Carlos had not been smooth sailing. Navigating the shadows of the underworld had nearly cost Su Tang her life. Fortunately, the bullet had merely perforated her arm, sparing vital areas. However, treating the wound was simple. Injuries to tendons and bones were far more complex. Of course, the fate of the gunman was grim. If all the bullets lodged within him were extracted, they would weigh at least 1.5 pounds. A few days later, at the Wang residence, Wang Tian wore a face ashen with anger. Today was particularly vexing for him. As the elusive Rus assassin, he had finally contacted had gone dark once more. Additionally, Wang Ju had returned. He could not fathom what the clan desired. Was a release of Wang Ju intended to supplant him? Shortly thereafter, someone entered to report, Mr. Wang, there has been an incident. We found only the clothing and personal belongings of the Rus squad on the hillside, but they are nowhere to be found. Wang Tian's brow furrowed, an ominous feeling washing over him. Search again. Yes. In contrast to Wang Tian's distress, Wang Ju, now liberated, felt a wave of relief wash over him. Akin, please bring the car over. I'll take a stroll. The essence of freedom is truly delightful. Indeed, as Wang Ju stepped outside, he felt the vibrant life of the flowers and greenery on the street, stirring a sense of emotion within him. Everything around him appeared pleasing to the eye. Even the gray, overcast sky seemed to hold a certain poetic charm. The air, thick with haze, carried a hint of sweetness. Even a man approaching from across the street, clad in a black suit, adorned with a wide-brimmed hat and leaning on a black umbrella, exuded an unexpectedly cold elegance. As he drew nearer, Wang Ju intended to greet him warmly. However, to his astonishment, the man raised his umbrella, thrusting it directly into Wang Ju's chest. Thud! The tip of the umbrella pierced his chest, revealing a sharp blade that plunged into him. A chill washed over his heart, quickly followed by excruciating pain. All the beauty around him abruptly ceased, leaving Wang Ju in disbelief. He could only glimpse the grotesque scars marring the man's face beneath the wide-brimmed hat. Carlos twisted the umbrella, the knife stirring within Wang Ju's body before he withdrew it, capturing a photograph with a miniature camera, and then drifted away. The entire incident transpired in less than a minute. When Akin finally arrived with the car, he found Wang Ju lying on the ground, the street eerily deserted. Mr. Wang, he cried, rushing over, but Wang Ju had already drawn his last breath. Akin's hands trembled with disbelief. He roared in fury, desperately trying to discern the identity of the assailant. Wang Ju had been his pillar of strength, and now that foundation had crumbled. Who would most desire to keep Wang Ju from emerging? The answer was glaringly obvious, Wang Tian, who feared losing control over the Wang family's power. With clenched teeth, Akin lifted Wang Ju into the car and sped towards the ancestral residence of the Wang family. At the pinnacle of the Yida Group's headquarters, in the chairman's office, Chen Xiao gently lifted Yin Bingqin from the desk, adjusting her attire. You can return to Beijing now. The threat has been neutralized. Yin Bingqin's face flushed, and she shot Chun Xiao a disapproving glance. Is that how you treat someone after using them? Just kick them aside? Chun Xiao replied. That's not my intention. Haven't you been eager to return to Ice City to continue the project there? Yin Bingqin wrapped her arms around Chun Xiao's neck, smiling sweetly. I was merely jesting. I do intend to return. The project timeline has fallen too far behind, and I must exert every effort to ensure the merchants can commence renovations after the new year. At that moment, Chun Xiao received a text from Zhong. Wang Ju, dead. Chun Xiao was momentarily taken aback, but then felt a surge of elation. Grabbing Yin Bingqin, who was about to leave the office, he exclaimed, wait, I wish to savor the taste of the beautiful so once more. Chapter 368. This is merely the beginning. How annoying. The soundproofing in this office is inadequate. Chun Xiao chuckled. Then you should exercise some restraint. Yin Bingqin replied, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Chun Xiao, feeling an insatiable hunger, finally emerged from the office with her. The employees of the Yida Commercial Group were so engrossed in their screens that they hardly glanced away. It was only after the chairman and general manager departed that low, fervent discussions erupted in the office. As they exited the building, Yin Bingqin, her cheeks flushed, playfully scolded. How annoying. How am I supposed to lead the employees after this? Chun Xiao paid little heed to her concerns, content simply to enjoy herself. Let us go. I'm starving, she exclaimed. Yin Bingqin replied. I want TV going. I've already had my fill. Taken aback, Chun Xiao asked, what did you eat? Yin Bingqin cast him a mournful glance. What do you think? The Wang family ancestral home, she continued. In the expansive courtyard, which was usually desolate, a considerable number of people had gathered today. Before the Wang family ancestral hall, a body lay on the ground, draped in white cloth, none other than Wang Ju. An elderly man, his eyes filled with fury, trembled slightly as he leaned on his cane. Is this truly the work of that scoundrel, Wang Tian? A young man interjected. I cannot fathom who would commit such a heinous act. Mr. Wang was just out and met his demise. This threatened someone's position. Nonsense. My second brother would never harm a fellow clansman. Another youth retorted angrily. Wang Tian has been abroad for years, marrying unsavory characters. Who knows what he might do behind closed doors? Came the counter-argument. Enough. Silence. Wang Zhongtong barked. My son's remains are not yet cold. Do not bicker in front of him. Whoever is responsible shall pay dearly. The younger generation exchanged glances, falling silent. Wang Zhongtong continued. Where is Wang Tian? Wasn't he summoned? Returning, he is already on his way, came the reply, and the hall fell into silence. Before long, a report came in. Clan Elder. Wang Tian has arrived. Instantly, everyone's gaze shifted to the entrance. Moments later, Wang Tian entered with a throng of followers. Ah, what did my uncle summon me for? Wang Tian began, only to suddenly notice the body under the white cloth. He was taken aback, his eyes wide, scanning the crowd and realizing only his father was absent. A wave of dread washed over him. Father! Wang Tian cried out, collapsing to his knees. What has happened, father? I am unfilial. The onlookers gasped as Wang Zhongtong, nearly overcome with rage, shouted, You fool! Be quiet. Wang Tian, tearful, looked up at his furious uncle. Your father is not dead. He did not come to avoid suspicion. The one lying there is your cousin, Wang Ju. Wang Tian thought to himself, damn, how could I weep for this? Though he maintained a fade of sorrow, inwardly he rejoiced. Wang Ju, how did he meet his end? He feigned ignorance, secretly delighted that this meant no one could threaten his position. Wang Zhongtong, clutching his chest, bore a pained expression. A servant promptly offered him several heart-saving pills, which he swallowed. After a while, he managed to regain some composure. Wang Tian, I ask you, did you have a hand in this? Wang Tian was momentarily stunned, despite having longed for such a moment. He would never stoop to committing such an act, aware of the Wang family's influence and the consequences of defying ancestral teachings. He had no desire to become a target for resentment. Even if I, Wang Tian, were no longer human, I would never harm a fellow clansman. This is our ancestral decree. Though Wang Tian's arrival had incensed Wang Zhongtong, it also alleviated his suspicions. Wang Zhongtong and Wang Zhonghai, with their years of experience, could surmise from Wang Tian's demeanor that this matter likely did not pertain to him. Yet, if not him, who else could it be? Wang Zhongtong turned to the younger generation and inquired, have any of you recently made any deadly enemies? The group shook their heads in unison. Elder, we have always adhered to our ancestral teachings, never overexploiting our resources or cornering others into a dead end. We would never dare to contravene such principles. Wang Zhongtong then questioned Wang Tian. And you? Have you had a life-and-death confrontation with Qin Shao? Wang Tian shrugged. Not at all. My dealings with him are merely a matter of normal business competition. Perhaps Wang Ju pressured him too much? Nonsense. Wang Ju was already imprisoned prior to this. How could he have pressured him? Wang Zhongtong retorted. Wang Tian, are you withholding the truth? Wang Tian vehemently denied any involvement with hired assassins. If it were merely a failure, it could be overlooked, but such a misstep would violate their ancestral code. No. My only connection to him lies within the Atlanta Capital Group. Wang Zhongtong warned. Wang Tian, you must speak honestly. This incident may merely be the beginning. I am speaking the truth. I cannot fabricate facts, Wang Tian insisted. A heavy silence enveloped the room. After a prolonged pause, Wang Zhongtong declared, very well. We shall leave this matter for now. I will engage the most professional criminal investigation experts to uncover the culprit. Wang Tian, do not forget that you have yet to clear your name. Wang Tian, with a grimace, protested, I am truly wronged, elder. Wang Zhongtong replied, I hope our Wang family does not meet its ruin at the hands of your generation. With that, he waved his hand, signaling everyone to depart. Wang Tian followed the crowd out of the ancestral hall. Once back at his vehicle, the look of grievance vanished in an instant, replaced by an expression of madness and malevolence. Qin Shao, it was you, wasn't it? Ha ha ha. Thank you for removing my rival. But I shall not let you off so easily. After uttering these words, Wang Tian let out a sigh. Damn it. What a useless Rasha. Nothing to speak of. He knew little about the professionalism of the Rasha. All he was aware of was how much money he had spent without achieving his goals. Little did he realize that the Rasha had already proven formidable, managing to inflict significant and prolonged distress upon Qin Shao. After all, Qin Shao's annual security expenses consumed the profits of one or two publicly traded companies. Who could withstand the assassination attempts of a Rasha team? Even if the target were Yin Ziyuan, the Rasha team had already succeeded. A sense of foreboding suddenly washed over Wang Tian. With Wang Ju dead, was he next? The thought sent a shiver down his spine. Quickly, summon all the brothers. Yes, should we call those from the old residence as well? Wang Tian pondered for a moment. Yes, call them. The old man has his own bodyguards. Understood. The elder immediately went to make contact, and soon, bodyguards from various factions converged at Wang Tian's location. These personnel from international security firms were relatively professional. As the number of people around him grew, Wang Tian's anxious heart gradually found solace. However, just as a large contingent of bodyguards from the old residence departed, a foreigner in a black suit, leaning on a black umbrella, appeared in the alley. He was slowly navigating the narrow passage, consulting a map in his hands. From time to time, he would capture a few photographs with his camera, resembling a foreign tourist. Occasionally, kind-hearted individuals would offer him directions, to which he graciously expressed his gratitude. It was not until he passed by the old residence of Wang Tian that he paused momentarily before continuing on his way. In a dilapidated little inn nestled deep within a narrow alley, Carlos busily sketched and jotted down notes on a piece of paper, which appeared to resemble a map. Every so often, he would exhale onto his hands to warm them, transitioning abruptly from a place with temperatures soaring above 30 degrees to the chill of Yindu. He found himself somewhat unprepared. In this era, it would be more rational for an average foreigner to reside in a five-star hotel. However, that would necessitate presenting a passport, and the more bustling the area, the more surveillance there would be. Conversely, this small and required no identification whatsoever. Payment was made, the door opened, and it was as simple as that. The proprietor had not even glimpsed the foreign visage concealed beneath his wide-brimmed hat. It was not until the deep hours of the night that Carlos meticulously arranged his clothing, hat, and umbrella before retiring to bed. The following day, Wang Zhonghe arose and stretched his limbs before taking his birdcage to the street to enjoy some bean juice. Where's that rascal? He mused. The weak compatriots had all been summoned back. Wang Zhonghe chuckled, knowing this impetuous lad always thrived on mischief. Is there any lead on Wang Ju's matter? He inquired. Given that Wang Tian was the primary suspect, the family had requested Wang Zhonghe to keep his distance, leaving him with scant knowledge of the affair. The Hui compatriots, for the time being, had no substantial clues. Suspecting my son? Wang Jiotong should take a look at the character of his own offspring. Wang Zhonghe scoffed.